Hello, I am Zé Alves Pereira. I am Portuguese, but I live in Trinidad and Tobago. I work for the European Commission, focused in the European Green Deal and green diplomacy. I am also a European Climate Pact ambassador. This is a digital artifact as my final project on investing in quality infrastructure for a green, inclusive, and resilient recovery. I want to convey in an accessible manner the resilience issues that are likely to arise in a specific infrastructure project that I shall present afterwards. As a project manager and policymaker, this presentation is addressed to stakeholders and colleagues. The specific infrastructure project is a 500 megawatt fixed offshore wind farm to be built by the national government off the east coast of Trinidad and Tobago, with a sovereign loan provided by a multilateral development bank, and which will be subsequently auctioned for management over a 25-year period by the private sector through a public-private partnership, PPP. So, this is a future project, yet to be built, and this is an ex-ante analysis. Due to my professional experience, I am familiar with most of the requirements involved, and I would like to present my recommendations as to how those issues should be properly considered through each phase of the project's life cycle, starting with maximizing the positive impact of this project to achieve sustainable growth and development. QIY Principle 1. This is a green project, and the green dimension of GRID projects requires the government to focus on a transition in the energy mix, support policies to produce the required skill mix and build social support for change, as well as support solutions that sustain natural capital, create jobs, and do not undermine tomorrow's growth. By building resilience to economic, climate, and health-related shocks, Trinidad and Tobago can avoid diverting scarce resources to repeated cycles of shock, restructuring, and rebuilding. Quality infrastructure investments Principle 4, building resilience against natural disasters and other risks, highlights that infrastructure should also be resilient against both natural hazards and human-made risks. Cybersecurity attacks are a category of human-made risks that are of increasing significance in infrastructure sectors. Climate change intensifies many natural disasters, increasing the pressure on infrastructure systems to deliver resilient and reliable services. A major challenge in developing climate-resilient infrastructure is the large and persistent uncertainty surrounding climate projections. QIY Principle 4, building resilience against natural hazards and other risks. During the planning phase, there will be the need to carry numerous preliminary activities. It will be necessary to mobilize expertise at an early stage for the selection of sites through a desktop survey, preliminary assistance for the measurement campaign under a wind resource assessment. A detailed global plan needs to be conceived and to be followed. How to get the necessary bankable data, duration of the study, necessary equipment and its cost. Basically, to design a full strategy to implement a wind resource assessment, including deliver of terms of reference to procure the field work and the necessary budget. Following the selection of sites with potential for wind, it will be necessary to carry on an environmental impact assessment, as well as to define a risk management framework. This is in line with QIY Principle 3, integrating environmental considerations. The next step is to evaluate the feasibility of the project. This based on bankable data in line with QIY Principle 2, raising economic efficiency in view of the life cycle cost. Well-designed disaster risk finance and insurance mechanisms can enable governments to finance these preventive measures and spread the costs of preventive measures out over a longer term. Once all the preliminary works are procured and concluded, we should move towards a firm commitment from the national authorities and a decision to give a green light to the project. This commitment should allow Trinidad and Tobago to implement a substantial fraction of its National Determined Contribution strategy, the NDC strategy. Before procuring the construction, a public information campaign should allow to give voice to all stakeholders, inclusive to citizens, leaving no one behind and integrating social considerations into the investment. QIY Principle 5. Transparency on the procurement of this infrastructure should be present at all phases of the project's life cycle, including the establishment of the PPP that will be responsible to manage and maintain the infrastructure. The PPP should support the strengthening infrastructure governance. QIY Principle 6. Budgets for regular and periodic maintenance should make part of the overall plan. Contingencies for repairs caused by natural hazards or man-made hazards, such as a cyber attack, should also have been considered. Finally, even if the life cycle of this project will last for 25 years or more, decommission and recycling of this infrastructure investment should have been planned since the beginning. Thank you very much.